Hi EDL507 classmates, my name is Tabitha Smith. I would like to share with you first my educational background. I currently am serving as an assistant principal at a K-8 school. I began this role in August. Formerly, I was a curriculum specialist for 4 years, a third grade teacher for 13 years, and a second grade teacher for 5 years. So this is my 22nd year in education. I obtained my MSA this past May from UNCW. I obtained my master's degree and bachelor's degree in elementary education and reading education from East Carolina University. I think that I have always known that I've wanted to be a teacher. From the very beginning of my memories, I played in my room as a school teacher. I had a table, notebook paper, white paper, pens, markers, anything you could think of. My mother always made sure that I had my teaching supplies, and I taught my baby dolls, my stuffed animals, mimicking mostly what I had seen and heard my teachers do in daycare and in primary school. Issues in curriculum and pedagogy that interest me the most entail what I used, or I guess communicated as my platform as a curriculum specialist, making sure that we align everything from our standards to our practices to our assessments to ensure that our teaching, our instructional practices are effective in meeting our standards and the needs of our students, and that we are teaching or instructing and having our students practice in the way that we are going to be assessing. The second bullet, understanding of curriculum. When I think about defining curriculum, it's not just the standards that we are presented, for example, in our North Carolina Standard Course of Study, but it's also the instructional resources that we use, the instructional strategies that we use, the underlying standards or objectives or goals that we have. Not stated, again, in the standard course of study per se, but what we know as good teachers students need or require in order to be successful and meet those standards in a successful way. The article we read as far as John Dewey's 5 articles and the statements that stood out the most to us. In Article 1, What Education Is, the sentence that I put a star by and annotated out in the margin, and actually it's a couple of sentences. Hence, it is impossible to prepare the child for any precise set of conditions. To prepare him for the future life means to give him command of himself. It means so to train him that he will have the full and ready use of all his capacities, that his eye and ear and hand may be tools ready to command, that his judgment may be capable of grasping the conditions under which it has to work, and the executive forces be trained to act economically and efficiently. My annotations out in the margin, the little bullets that I jotted down, what came to mind to me first and foremost: critical thinkers, problem solvers, and resourcefulness. All of the 21st century, I guess, soft skills that we are hoping to embed and teach and mold and train our students to use and do, so that it's not just about certain or specific situations, but what to do when a situation arises. In Article 2, What the School Is, I starred the statement, I believe that education, therefore, is a process of living and not a preparation for future living. My annotations in the text, or out in the margin, my notes state what to do in the here and now, the application and the experience. It's not about the content, but it's what you do utilizing your knowledge of the learning that you have gained. Article 3, the subject matter of education, I highlighted this sentence. I believe that we violate the child's nature and render difficult the best ethical results by introducing the child too abruptly to a number of special studies of reading, writing, geography, etc., out of relation to this social life. And again, in the margin, my annotations, I wrote foundations of learning. We need to spend those early years developing the foundation where students are experimenting, socializing, developing their creativity so that they are more proficient in problem solving and interacting socially appropriately in society or in the settings in which they are part. In Article 4, the nature of method, the sentence I highlighted, I believe that the active side precedes the passive in the development of child nature. My annotations in the margin, and this goes back to me as an instructional leader in the assistant principal role and in the curriculum specialist role, automatically I thought of the levels of engagement and how there's a correlation to increased learning, and that learning can be in just gaining experience of, as I stated earlier, dealing effectively or managing effectively the here and the now. In Article 5, the school and social progress, I highlighted, I believe that every teacher should realize the dignity of his calling, that he is a social servant set apart for the maintenance of proper social order and the securing of the right social growth. I didn't annotate any words out in the margins. I just starred it because to me, when I read every teacher should realize the dignity of his calling, each and every one of us are serving as teachers because of a calling. I truly believe that, and our calling should be to do whatever it takes to nurture and develop students socially as well as academically. But if we don't take the time to build relationships and get to know our children or our students and their interest, then the content, we're not going to be able to develop that if we don't first build relationships. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you this semester, and I hope you have a good evening.